Exactly. This hero, it got nerfed severely after its introduction, but then it got buffed with the Agnum's edition, and then Lil Shredder also got changed to reduce armor. And since these two changes to that hero, he has been seen a lot of play on core roles, and I personally really like it because it's like setting up for a high tempo, high octane gameplay game plan. But let's see what happens. Jug being picked up by NiP so far, pretty good hero, probably played by Charlie. Has intrinsic magic immunity. Very interesting game. There are two carry heroes right now. The two carry heroes that have intrinsic magic immunity with the Rage and the Spin. Not picked up that often in recent times, but these two heroes have really been having a surge in pick rate right now because of the changes of the heroes.
Yeah, and of course there is still things like the Beastmaster available. We could see Viking go that way, but then you are admittedly playing into a Chen. So on the lane, you're going to find your Boars Yoington used against you. But outside of that, you got to consider other BKB piercers that you could potentially still get. If they do want to run this as a core snap farm, maybe you see something like a Bane coming out for Viking. I do think that's potentially a little bit weak of a support combo, Ench plus Bane though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of reserve time also being used up by both teams. Like NiP only have 13 seconds left. Viking 34 are picking the slaughter now. Well,
Okay.
that's a BKB piercing thing. You can bash things through magic immunity, and you can also amplify them through magic immunity. Of course, Jug can remove the amplify one time when he activates the spin, but there's nothing preventing the slaughter from reapplying it. And a Jug with amplify on him is not that tanky if the lifesteal is able to connect on him. And this slaughter, I really like him a lot. We talked about the magic immunity and Viking GG. They also thought about it probably and just picked this slaughter up, who matches up really well against Jugger in lane and also later into the game. So this Toby slaughter, we saw it yesterday already, is probably going to have a pretty good game so far because this looks like a good slaughter game.
Yeah, I think the other thing to keep in mind is that the Slardar plus Snapfire combo is pretty good on the lane for the defensive aspect as well, right? Because you have the sprint plus the cookie to disengage from the spin, which means that Charlie should just be left holding his blade in his hands with nothing to hit.
Exactly. That's super rough for the Jug because he can't really connect past the initial 1-2 seconds on the slaughter at least, and even the Snapfire, as you said, she can cookie herself, get herself out of danger, and looking really good so far from Viking. I like these heroes. Let's see what happens in the last ban phase, in the last pick phase, because right now I think NiP has they have to outsmart Viking on that last on those last bans and last pick.
I mean, I think they did somewhat catch Viking off guard with that Juggernaut pick, right? Like you saw the amount of time they ate into. I think that's because they're used to seeing these situations at the moment where Charlie's hero gets saved for the roundabout and Supremes might be picked. Like there's usually a pattern to the way NiP drafts, whether it's picking up Charlie's hero in the first phase and then Supremes in the last, or you pick Charlie's in the last and Supremes in the second phase.
Yeah, that's true. Like, of course, it is kind of a curveball because Jug, he is not the most common hero, but I think coming out with the bans on Voice Spirit and the Invoker, that the Viking, the Viking captain, Shut apparently here. I'm not sure if Shut is actually picking, though. I think they're prepared. Storm and Corp also being banned out, so yeah, it's mid laners being banned out, and there aren't a lot of mid laners anymore. A lot of prominent mid laners are banned. SF, Corp, Storm, Voice Spirit, and Invoker. They're all out of there, so let's see what Viking picks up.
Yeah, there's still the likes of the Templar, Assassin, and the Morphling, which are the most highly rated ones for Supreme. But then again, I think especially a Morphling in a game like this is insanely greedy.
I think it's also banned in the second phase already.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I'm being a blind idiot here. There's still the Templar Assassin, and actually they might take that because they love this matchup with the Ember TA.
Yeah.
In fact,
Ember?
I think Viking were beaten by NiP. And that was one of the kind of highlights of the game, is that Supreme ended up killing Boom once or twice on the lane.
Yeah, that can actually happen in a matchup. It's a very delicate matchup. It can go both ways, but we're talking about players who are so practiced. They have played this matchup tens, 20s of times, dozens of times. Oh, there's the monkey again.
Yeah, but I like this one.
Now from Supreme though, and this is a hero that can dumpster Ember Spirit on lane for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this is something we haven't seen for a long time, right? We've seen the prominence of Ember Spirit, we've seen the tweaks to him, especially after Spirit Vessel got kind of kicked about a little bit, and his pick rate started to decline. But even through that time, we didn't really see the Monkey King prioritized as the counter pick that often. mainly because, Monkey King wasn't feeling that formidable. We've seen him get recent small armor buffs here and there. But I definitely feel like this is still a hero that forms a kind of key momentum-based role in games, and that's why I like that they've actually picked it in the two role rather, compared to yesterday where they ran it in the one role and it looked pretty measly.
Exactly. Yesterday we saw it on Charlie, and he didn't really seem too comfortable on him. Of course, he can play that hero, but I think it's good to change it up. Charlie on the more hard farming Juggernaut. With a Magnus even, able to scale into the late game really well, while Supreme also able to scale with the Empower from the Magnus, but also being able to set the tempo right off the bat on the laning stage, because Boom on the Ember Spirit will get pressured by that Monkey, and that's good for NiP, because that's a lane they will have the advantage on, and if they get the early advantage, this Chen can really apply pressure on Viking and allow the Jug to farm, while, well, Monkey, Magnus, Chen, and Phoenix are setting the pace.
Yeah, and the other thing to look at here is, right, you've got Ninjas in Pajamas, they've got the ability to farm quicker, they've got some decent lane matchups, and the team fight is notably stronger than Vikings. When you get into a 5-on-5 engagement, you've got this egg, you've got this RP, you've got the Wukong's command, it's circle, circle, circle. Whereas Viking is just Aramis giving everyone a kiss. That's the big team fight ability on the side of Viking. They need pickoffs if they want to make this draft work.
That's 100% sure. Viking, they got low cooldowns, except the kisses. Every single spell of them is low cooldown, pretty low cooldown. While NiP, as you said, Phoenix, big one. Chen, big one. Magnus, big one. Even Monkey's ult is a pretty big cooldown. Even Jug has a pretty high cooldown. So these heroes on the Dire side, they have big cooldowns. They want to have one team fight, 2-minute pause, one team fight. That's how they want to play. While Viking, they want to continuously fight. Maybe force a fight, get these ults out, maybe even pay with 1 or 2 heroes, but then during these 2 minutes of downtime, they want to continuously fight, apply pressure, and that's how they want to play with that Slaughter, with that Ember, with that Lifestealer.
We're going to see if they can. I mean, this is Viking style of duo. This is the way they like to play time and time again. They've proven that they like to just take the lanes and then push forward immediately afterwards. And you definitely have to do that in this type of game. You have to close the map. And I think the kind of, the arrow in the heel in this situation might just be this Monkey King. If Supreme does get a good start to his lane, he can match move for move anything Boom does across the map.
Yep. He can do that. But let's see if it's a Thompson Monkey King or a Charlie Monkey King. We'll see. No shade given. No shade given. I love Charlie.
Yep, but in this game, he's able to focus on what we know him for, what he's good at, which is your traditional carry. Just hit creeps, come in 20, 25 minutes in the game, and join your team. Don't worry about this need to make things happen, which is really was his downfall yesterday. When we saw that Monkey King performance, the amount of time he just sat in trees, he's like, so how does this kill him thing work? Because usually the creeps come to me.
Yeah, that is true. But now on the Jug, Mask of Menace already queued. This guy has a plan. He's got a plan. Wraithband Stick, Phase Boots, Mask of Madness, being empowered, farming Ancients. That's his plan. He knows what to do, and he'll 99% be able to execute it. And, well, if this guy executes, he is a beast.
They aren't going to leave him alone in the lane, though. Immediately, Chen's going to come up. He just wanted to help out a little bit. But they weren't able to aggress, so in the end, Viking were able to actually get 3 of the bounty runes. Celery very confidently just runs into the enemy's high ground and yoinks it.
Yep. Surion the Enchantress on bot lane, probably going to skill heal level 1. And yeah, he's able to punish out that Phoenix pretty well, even though Phoenix has a lot of stats. But Enchantress is just such a strong hero in lane. And look at Saberlight. This looks like yesterday, where Saberlight was just being attacked, not having a good time. Let's see if Saberlight maybe has even like some PTSD, because yesterday he lost 2 lanes against the Skeeter Lifestealer already. So this Lifestealer, maybe even a psychological thing against Saberlight right now.
Like, oh no, give me another hero. What have we got? What do you mean it's another melee strength hero? Oh god.
Yeah, and Shad, he's sitting pretty tightly, pretty comfortably here on the lane.
Meanwhile, Chen's just being slowly pummeled out. It's very hard on this top lane. The problem is the moment Misha's forced back, all of a sudden Charlie really won't be able to farm. That's kind of the potency with this triple stun lane that Viking have.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Like Bash at the Deep, Slithering Crush, and the Cookie. And yeah, level 2 is gonna be when the tempo really kicks up for Viking, because they are gonna have the cookie ready and the bash ready. That's gonna be super, super hard for the Chen. Like, if this Chen missteps one time, he dies against that lane, and that's why he's playing it safe, dewarding his own camp, and yeah, he can't really contest that lane. He has to stand back super hard, and I think the Blightstone is not really paying off that well because, well, Toby already on 6 armor. He doesn't really care about this Blightstone, and Chen, maybe you would have liked to have a Headless here right now, or maybe even a Ring of Regen, but well, let's see what happens when the lane gets pushed, because right now the lane is pretty good for NiP. Lane is close to the tower, and Charlie can actually farm, but when the lane is being pushed out by the NiP tower, what's currently happening, it's gonna be rough, because if the lane is like further back down, it's super hard for Charlie to actually hit creeps.
Yep. And we're already seeing how hard Misha's kind of suffering from going for this Holy Persuasion level 1, right? Like, compared to the Divine Favor, the amount of pressure that Vikin were able to apply in those first 2 creep waves, you can already see it starting to affect Charlie's CS pretty heavily. And in terms of regen, they're burning through it pretty quick.
Yeah, he only has 1 tango left. I mean, he can get recalled, but still, this lane not looking good. Toby has a glorious day ahead of him so far.
And it's the kind of the go-to statement is if Toby has a good game, that's when Viking usually look at their best.
Yeah.
You kind of need that. We already mentioned this mid lane situation. You can already see the difference between these two and why Monkey King has always been that kind of go-to counter to the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, 19-9 versus 9-1. It's not gonna be a lot better. Sure, on level 6, Ember Spirit will be happy. He can move to other lanes then, gang, to apply some map pressure, but still, being able to pressure the monkey is not a thing you will be able to in the next foreseeable future.
And that pressure is still
Misha
being
on top.
applied to Saberlight as well. Top, however, as you mentioned, Misha's in trouble and easily ran down. That's the power once they get past that level 2 threshold. And I mean, that's actually another concern of mine, right? Is you look at the combo of Chen and Juggernaut as a lane, it's stable to an extent, right? But it's not got those power spikes I often talk about. Like we talked with the Slardar and the Snapfire, right? Where they have it too. I look at a Juggernaut, a Chen. When is your I'ma immediately kill you now moment? I don't feel like it's there.
No, it's not really there. Like, it's a passive lane, and the best thing that can happen is Misha getting a Frost Ogre and applying it to the Juggernaut. If he's able to get the Ice Ogre, apply the Frost Armor to Charlie's Jug, Charlie will probably be pretty safe on that lane, but so far I don't see any Frost Ogre on that map, so not gonna happen anytime soon.
That means even more pressure on Super. Which, to be honest, with the start that he's got, it's possible. I could see it. I can even see Boom dying at this rate if he's not careful. Luckily, he did have the Fairy Fire, but Supreme's not letting up. He'll dive the town. That TP is way too late to help.
Oh yeah, that's rough. Enchantress wasting her TP and Boom dying a horrible death. And look at this XP. Like, gold-wise, okay, but look at the XP. That's a full level ahead. And whew, this monkey destroying him so far.
At least the other lanes are making up for it. You know, they're pressuring onto the other 2 cores. Rune-wise, they're controlling it up pretty well. I say that as Chen denies the rune on the Radiant side, at least. But the gold difference is what you got to worry about. Luckily, Monkey King is an XP-reliant hero more than gold, at least in the early phases of the game. And Charlie, oh my god, that pressure. He doesn't want to use the spin, but the bash comes out, and he's almost dead because of it. The healing wall will save his life. Aramis did not get rid of it. The tower almost gets rid of him.
The Dota gods have listened to Misha's prayings. He stacked the medium camp and got an Ogre Frost Mage. And there it is. Look at Charlie. 17 armor. He's pretty fine.
Not just that, he's also got the hard clicking, right? Because they got the Alpha Wolf as well.
Exactly, like these 2 creeps. That's why Chen is able to win every single lane. Like on the easy camp, you can get the Harpy, you win a lane. On the medium camp, you can get that Ogre Frost Mage, that Wolf, and these 3 creeps. They're like default win on pretty much every lane. And look, Toby, he can't really connect on Charlie anymore because there's the armor on the ice armor from the Ogre Frost Mage, and it's also the movement speed and attack slow. It's 25 attack slow, 25% move slow for 5 seconds if you hit the jug just once. And, well, you can't...
Supreme. I think he might be in a bit of trouble here. He needs to make sure he gets the lifesteal off. Aramis actually didn't have the mana.
Yep,
That's painful.
60 mana low. That is truly painful. And it's another TP that doesn't really lead to anything. Supreme really applying a lot of pressure. Sure, it's not like he's having 10 kills right now, but it's 1 kill, 1 solo kill, and 2 TPs from the supports. And Aramis wasted a lot of mana there, a lot of time. And yeah, the top lane is not going that well anymore. It's really stabilized for Charlie. Of course, he's still not on the top regarding net worth, but look at his XP. That's pretty sweet. And also, he'll be able to farm a lot better right now. So top lane, going pretty well. Mid lane, going pretty well. And bottom, I mean, Saberlight, he's having a decent game. So the lanes aren't looking too shabby right now for NiP.
It's a case of, this is a big part, especially with the Snapfire, why we see Fada, for example, rush at Soul Ring so often, is you are mana limited. That's the downside of the hero, but he's got enough mana with that clarity now to jump on Supreme. He needs to move away quickly before he gives the lifesteal over. Trying to do the damage. The Hadouken Ball gets dodged out, and he takes down the Snapfire. Stands his ground against Boom. Is healing up, but not enough. Arrow arrives way too late, and as a result, he'll probably go down as well. But, man, did he make them work for it.
That was so close. He was so close to dying. He almost died before getting off his Bounty Strike. Got it out, but still died because the damage was just too damn high. And that was super important for Viking GJ. Getting the Supreme Monkey King, stopping him one time, just stopping the bleeding, and super important. But they still brought the heroes. Of course, Arrow also died. But look at Shot. He's like free farming on bottom, insanely hard.
Yeah, you compare it to Saberlight, Magnus, the hero that we say, well, if nothing else, Mag will always get his creeps. 27-7. Lowest of all the CS. He just removes Shad from the equation. He's like, I've had enough of you, ruining my time. But the problem is that TPs are a thing.
The problem right now is, though, look at mid lane. The 2 supports plus Boom. They took out the Monkey King once again, and now he died 2 times after a pretty good laning set. But look at the XP. Boom, level 8. Same as the Monkey. Super good plays from Viking. They they expose the Monkey King kind of, and it often happens. The Monkey King feels overconfident because in a 1-1-1 matchup, he is able to pressure that Ember. But what happens if the supports come? Well, he can't really do that anymore, and he was just a bit too cocky. Got punished 2 times now already, and Boom is already in the game, back again.
And we're seeing from Viking exactly like what we were commending them for yesterday, I believe it was, is this whole idea like they can leverage and play behind any of their cores right now. Whereas for Ninja the Pyajamas, the comparative is I already feel like Saberlight is shifting his game to suit the needs of everyone else, which makes sense with Magnus, yes, but it does mean that you become more predictable in your movements and where your priorities are as a team. Right now, their priority is to bring down this Enchantress in the middle of the stack, which they'll do.
Yep. There was a kill, not a huge kill though. You gotta admit, it's a post 5 salary Enchantress, a level 5 hero. It's not that big. But let's see what happens mid. Saberlight now defending the mid lane, defending the tower, while the Jug is farming the jungle already. Boom going ultra deep.
Yeah, but he's got the defensive remnants, so he'll be able to move away. And also, that big stack they took, by the way, I'm pretty sure Celery got 1 or 2 of those because he did steal the Wild Wing Ripper and just start dancing with it.
Yeah. But look at the map aspect. 3 cores on the same lane from NiP before the Supreme MK TP top. Oh, Toby.
He needs to throw out a stun to save his life, but the spin's going to be there, and the slow should be enough to ensure his death.
Super important kill. MK securing that top spot once again, farm-wise, but still, Shad is not too far behind. Super close to the armlet, and you said one of the most important things. Saberlight getting like into the support role already. He's not like a fully fledged core anymore. Well, we can look at the Slaughter and see, wow, this guy is farmed as hell of late. Power treads, drums. This guy is a fully fledged core.
It's only going to get harder to catch, right? Once that sprint is maxed out, that sort of kill probably doesn't get you through the finish line unless you bring in someone like the RP on your Magnus, which you already mentioned, isn't having a great game, isn't being given that early kind of push net worth-wise. That might come back to bite them as the levels go on.
Still, you're wondering, like, this Toby guy, he's even, oh my god, he's not going for Dagger, not going for Aghanim's or anything, going for the Echo Saber, and he's like, boys, I'm the +1 now, I'm gonna pummel the Jug, I'm gonna pummel the MK, and, I mean, he's playing against 3 melee cores, and most melee cores don't have a good matchup against Slaughter, because Slaughter is just such a threat to melee cores. I kind of fear, because this Toby Slaughter, he's He's kind of having a slight resemblance to the CK yesterday. He also had a very good game on CK, and he just went on to quite literally become a +1 hero that just killed everyone on site.
Yeah, to compare this to the people really waiting in the grand finals, right? Mud Golems has this style with the offlane as well. 33, he can fill that typical offlane role, but you can give him these semi or secondary carries, and he will follow through. And that's exactly what Toby's looking to do as he moves to the bot lane. Charlie went in too deep. Omni Slash is going to be thrown out with the Mask of Madness as well, bouncing around. But it means there's not enough damage to kill anyone off. Now he's in trouble himself. He needs to get out, but it's too late at the back. Hand of God trying to save him the spin as well. Trying to escape, but he can't. Moving forward on top of the egg, but Boom realizes it's too late. That it is too late. Arama's trying to move out of range, but moving in, coming in. Supreme gets the stun on the free. Wukong's goes down as well. The follow-up stun's are good. Toby's going to be brought down Shad. Forced to fight, but he can't. The armor can't even be toggled. He's dead. Saberlight. Party RP, not going to throw it out because he knows everyone's already dead. And with that, they secure the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that's a good move. At first, I was kind of hesitant to call this a good team fight because Charlie kind of died without doing anything. But then the big ults we talked about came in. Egg came in. MK ult came in. Chen ult came in. They didn't even need RP, but those are those big buttons they can use to win those team fights and get that map pressure applied. Super good move from the NiP guys.
And it looked like maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, right? That half the team was just moving away from the egg. The other half were like, no, let's go finish it. And then obviously that's that kind of fatal moment where once you realize you can't commit to killing the egg as an Ember that late in the fight, you don't really have the mana to escape.
Yeah, exactly. He's on 560 mana. And if the fight has already been going for quite some time, you don't really have like 300 mana for double Remnant. And well, that was a huge boon. But still, mid tower being pressured now. Saberlight.
Saberlight. And he's got that RP. They're not going to give him a chance to use it well, though. The kiss has come through. Era has arrived, but I don't think he wants to be here. Boom does not have the chains, so they can't lock him in place to set that bird on fire. Even though that doesn't really make sense.
Misha lost his creeps, though.
It's true. Also, Charlie needs to be careful. Like, he does not have Omni Slash. They don't care about him anymore. He's irrelevant right now. It's only Monkey King who's a true threat.
Yeah, these big cooldowns, they are on cooldown. No Omni, no MK ult, no Egg, no Hand of God. And they have to concede the tower. As we said, the Viking boys are able to punish these big and huge cooldowns. They get a mid tower, sure, they lost the bottom tower, sure, they lost some kills, but still, they got the mid tower. And it's pretty comparable. Like some kills in a side lane tower compared to one kill in the mid lane tower, I'd say that kind of favors Viking even. And these big cooldowns are still 30 seconds off for the Chen, 10 seconds on the Monkey, I guess. But yeah, they really abused the huge cooldowns there.
At least in this game, compared to NiP's previous one, they're going to have a really good time on their Ags. And this is after the drums, right? Like, look at Monkey King's net worth already. He's keeping up. That is something that Viking need to find a way of directly addressing as this game goes on. And it's not going to get easier because, of course, the other part to that Ags is not just that it frustrates you in these fights, but it's going to tank him up significantly more.
Yeah, that is true. Like, people often forget it. It's kind of the same reason on Gyrocopter. It deals a lot of damage, yes, but it also tanks you up severely because of the Ogre Axe component and the point booster component.
Oh, poor Misha. Death is an inevitability here. There's only one of these people he can stun up, and actually he's not even going to get his creeps out, which is even more painful.
Oh no, that's
Daddy's
horrible.
babies are dying right now, okay? There's no legacy to carry on.
It's horrible. Like, dying on Chen is one thing, but dying on Chen and losing your creeps, horrible. And look at his inventory. It's Medallion and Ring of Basilisk. Feels bad. Of course, Magnus is going for the mech, but still, this Chen is looking so damn poor, and also the levels of a 7, that's not where you want to be. You want to have that Divine Favor or that Penitence. He is really lacking XP right now, and even gold.
Yeah, Chen players are like those parents that live vicariously through their kids, right? It's like, you know, if you die in a fight, whatever, you then look across all your creeps and go, did they make it out? Are they unharmed? Yeah. Are my cherishable children able to fight another day? And then when you realize they're not, you remember how long it took you, how much time investment it was to find them last time.
Oh, Saberlight. Saberlight.
Pretty deep. And no
Pretty
chance to
deep.
use the RP. I'm glad he didn't, actually. There would have been no follow-up. It would have been pretty pitiful. But as a result of you being dead again, it's another objective. Last time it was the tier 1 mid, and now it's going to be the big bad Roshan.
Yep. And Toby, he actually didn't go for the Echo Saber. He was like, alright boys, just a prank, going for Dagger. And he got that pick off from Saberlight, enabling the Roche. Good pickup in my opinion, because Yeah, Echo Saber is cute, but in the end, you want to have that hard initiation, and you also want to have the possibility to be the vessel for the Lifestealer. It's an age-old combo, Lifestealer Slaughter, Infest into the Slaughter, Slaughter with the dagger, going in, crushing people, applying corrosive haze, and we saw that Magnus just absolutely exploding. Like, he died in like, what, 2 seconds or so, and this is gonna be how the next 20 minutes are gonna look for Saberlight, because I don't see him getting those huge items.
No, this item choice isn't going to help him at all. Guarding Greaves, the problem with it is you have to actually not be perma-stunned to use Guarding Greaves. And as we've already seen, it's not too difficult for Vikin to pull that one off. And when you then look outside of this Saberlight Magnus, what's your counter initiation? What's your way of disrupting their combo? Maybe a Boundless Strike, but you have to be well positioned for that from Supreme, which means you don't have any great way of stopping them from bursting your Magnus.
Exactly. There's Chen, yeah, he can heal for 250, but there's no hard save like Oracle, like Shadow Demon, like Outworld Devourer. Like, these hard saves are pretty good against that hard engage from Lifestealer and Slaughter, but they don't have any of those. So, rough times. But they're setting up for bottom tower. The Monkey King boy's already there, Charlie's also there. They also got vision. It's a very good fight position for NiP, but Viking are smoking.
Yep, a common. Infest Bomb ready to go. Toby is winding up that crushing arm. And they are stacked right now. They need to be careful. They're moving in the trees. Stun straight away out into Meeson to try and get rid of the Hand of God. He does get it off, but it won't do much for him. He's already dead. On the high ground, they're stuck though. Viking 2 on the high ground with the 8 going down. Supreme. He commits the Wukong. The kisses Aramis. He's stuck in the corner. He's going to be brought down. Up on the side to ensure that they stay up on that cliff. The Omni Slash through to bring down the Aegis and kill off Toby as well. And when you come up, Lifestealer, he has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. He has to stand and fight. Doesn't have the rage. Is going to be stunned up. Charlie, I don't know if you want this. He will TP away. Toby with his buyback is going to pursue forward looking for a kill. But that axe from the Monkey King will stop him quick in his tracks.
Huge play from Saberlight. Oh my god, that's Huron to the high ground. Literally won the fight on their own. The egg popped. 2 buybacks coming out. Huge moves.
They're wondering what he can do, and he proves he can do quite a lot, but now Supreme, he needs to carry on afterwards. The problem is with the stuns coming out, it's going to be low. Toby is going to die. That is his dieback. They at least get the Monkey King kill, but it's kind of even when you give over the dieback like that. The follow-up is looking good, however, as Error also gets picked off, and once again, even after a great fight from NiP, we instantly see the weakness. Your cooldowns, that's your limitation, and that's what Viking don't feel as a limitation as well.
Exactly. The Lifestealer, one of those heroes, yeah, his ult has 75 cooldown, but well, you fight on this hero with the basic spells. You don't really need the ult. And we saw the Lifestealer, he was like, okay guys, I was on the high ground, but they used all their spells, no RP, no Monkey ult, no Omni, no Hand of God, no Supernova. Run at them, boys. Run at them, get those kills. Yeah, so what? Toby dies, but they still get the Monkey, get the Era, get the map control back, and see, like, they're pushing in the waves already and applying so much pressure to the lanes. This is looking super good right now for Viking. They're abusing every single timing window where the big ults are on CD.
Every second counts. That's the immediacy, right? It's kind of like you're just waiting in your bunker, and then you just see that they fire their muskets. And you know that it's going to take them a while to reload those, so that's when you charge the front line. That is Viking right now. Maybe you lose 1 or 2 heroes along the way when you charge that front line, but you know that you can overwhelm them before they reload those rifles.
Exactly. Charlie going to the bot lane already, and we really see what has been going on in the last 1 or 2 years. You always want to go to the enemy safe lane jungle, pressure that enemy safe lane tier 2 jungle. Viking did it, and the NiP guys are doing it right now, able to secure that tier 2 tower and able to get that outpost as well. Good moves by NiP as well. They are getting some map control out there, even though they just lost a team fight.
And one issue to consider for Viking here is after that buyback from Toby previously, his net worth has fallen dramatically, right? He's starting to go down into Saberlight territory. That's the scary difference that occurred there because of Saberlight's impact in that fight around the Radiant jungle and Toby's need to buy back afterwards and then die back. You can see the net worth differential between these two has shrunk exponentially.
Yeah. Oh, another fight happening.
Maybe. Omni Slash is out. Celery is out for the count. Dead for 40 seconds, and that might enable a push onto this tier 2. They're a bit hesitant.
Charlie really hates Celery. It's like, this guy, F this guy in his specialty. He's like 4.9k. Level what? Level 12 Enchantress. Like, no, 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 no. This guy has to die. Mask Menace and Omni Slash both used. But I guess it's 120, yeah. But they just want to farm anyways, seemingly. They just want to push out top. And, well, then it's not a big deal to use that Omni.
No. And Celery, he's the typical frustrator, right? His role in these games, we see it every time as an Enchantress. We've seen it from Misha as well, right? So NiP definitely have an understanding of what you do with an Ench. You just plant yourself somewhere, you wave, and wait for someone to respond. And you waste their time. That's how you get the value out of this hero outside of these 5-on-5 engagements.
Arcane Rune spawn on top, Supreme picking it up. And as you said, Saberlight has been creeping up, while Toby hasn't been really having the best game since the dagger pickup. Yeah, they got the pickup, the pickoffs, but his own farm, oh, really, really fallen off.
Yeah, that's the problem when you go for this Blink Dagger. You know, it's that typical type of offlane hero. You can say it's amazing, it's really great, but it's in that same category as someone like a Centaur. The moment you pick it up, you start just hunting all the time. And the backside to that, the downside to that, is that if you do not connect with these targets, you're going to fall off pretty hard in terms of net worth. And he wants to find a target now.
Exactly.
We're going into the high ground, though. Slithering about. There he comes for the wraparound. They ping it out. Saberlight's the one. They go straight for him. Jumping on top. He's gone. Hannah God is way too late for Misha. The kisses follow up as well. Supreme. He's brought down. Misha's not escaping from this as that nice little clumsy net connects with his face and beautifully executed from Vikin to ensure there's no chance of a counterattack.
Absolute destruction. You talked about it, Greaves. I mean, yeah, they gave 4 armor and 3 armor aura, but that's it. They give 7 armor in the end if you can't press them. And he was just perma-stunned. He died in 1 crush and 1 bash of the deep. That's how many seconds? 2.3 seconds of stun. And this 1.5k HP hero, 12 armor hero, just died. He just vanished. And, well, Chen, you gotta admit, bit slow on the hand of God. Maybe could have saved him, or maybe even gave Magnus the possibility to Greaves and use the reverse polarity, and that would have been a totally different fight. Slight mistake by Misha, and well, Viking are capitalizing on it, getting those kills, getting the bottom tier 2, looking really good now.
It kind of makes you wonder if they were thinking too much about the efficiency of guarding Greaves on low HP or something, but maybe this also goes back to the argument that I was thinking they're bringing up before, which is that mech on Chen versus mech on Magnus, right? So, like, in that situation, yeah, Chen might be an easy pickoff, and that might prioritize him more in these fights, but that means that your Magnus is free to counter-initiate, which, with your follow-up to any counter-initiate, is insane, right? The moment you connect a good RP, the Wukongs, you have time to cast it. You've got time to get an egg down. You're halfway through the animation before they're unstunned. Like, everything that can go right is usually going to come down to, is Saberlight dead or alive in these fights?
100% sure. And Viking, they also clearly identified it. They jump the Magnus every time they get the chance, because so far it has been working out pretty well. Like, yeah, you can go on the Chen, but if you go on the Magnus, you stop any kind of counter-engage through that magic immunity from Rage. Because right now, Magnus is the only thing that can stop the Lifestealer from terrorizing your people.
I'm going to try and terrorize someone on the runes, but a little bit too late. I'm a little bit concerned that Viking are investing a lot of time into these invests right now, right? Like, it's nice to see them make a play, and then it moves into an objective, but they want to go again. And we did mention that aggression is important, but if you spend too long without any sort of redemption, any sort of goal gain out of these moves, then you've got a lifestealers just starting to fall behind this jug.
Yeah.
Maybe, though, if they find Supreme, which they will. Moving in, Infest bomb out, and he's gone.
Oh my god, that's absolutely disgusting. This minus armor. Look at these items. Desolator's up on the Ember. Assault Curse is up on the Lifestealer. And of course, Toby has the level 2 Corrosive Haze. And I think I saw minus 26 armor on that monkey. So he's like on 23, minus 26. That means minus 3 armor. And that means like you have lower than 2k effective HP. Well, yep. We just saw him getting absolutely destroyed. And boom, also with the 10-second BKB now, going for the crit. And this damage is looking too huge to deal with from NiP because they're heroes. Like, they're getting shredded.
I mean, this is some old school Ember coming in. Charlie trying to go in, has to use the spin, so you need to leave right now. You might be initiated upon. They don't know where the mag is exactly. He's actually forced to go up to the high ground in the end as they do spot him. They're trying to burn through, keep an eye on the health of the roast. They can maybe go in. Shad has to use the rage, maybe only like Omni Slash, but Aegis is picked up, which means Charlie needs to get out of here quick. The kisses are coming through, and Magnus is stuck on the spot. No chance to even use the RP. The egg goes down. They'll turn around, moving straight into it. The buyback comes out from Magnus. Too late. Wukong's Supreme throws it down. Booms, and BKB still running, so he moves away, and Charlie needs to get out of this quick. Spin is running out soon. Toby cuts the back line. Stun comes out and a Saberlight before he can skew across the stun follow-up as well. This could be his dieback. He needs to be careful. Look at the RP. He whiffs though. Chad just casually sidesteps and says, what up? Not much, but 3 heroes on NiP are down.
Desperate attempt by NiP to contest that Roche. Charlie went in, Omni-slashed the low HP Lifestealer, but the Roshan died, and Lifestealer was able to pick up that Aegis, and he just respawned with full HP while the Jug was in an exposed position without the Omni-slash. Saberlight also died. Buybacked, died again. His RP didn't hit anyone, and that's the mistake. Well, not the mistake, but that's the issue when you rush the Grease and have a bad game. You don't have a Blink Dagger. And without a Blink Dagger, it's so hard to hit these good RPs against well-coordinated teams, and Viking GG is one of those well-coordinated teams.
You know what? This to me, Jay, this is kind of like when someone's been in a relationship for 10 years and they still have not proposed or something, right? It's like there's a slight lack of commitment. And as I say that, Toby gonna casually die. But to go back to the point, right, around that pit, what I'm talking about is the fact that they're kind of bouncing in, they're weaving about, they're using their spins too early, they're being forced into these small areas by Vikin, because Vikin understand that while NiP are here, they aren't willing to hard commit. If they were, they would have done so already, and that's the downside. In that situation, you force yourself to use that Omni Slash on a target you know is going to pick up that Aegis in time.
He tried to pick it up during the Omni Slash. That is a possible play, but still, low percentage plays. And well, what do the other players not like? Low percentage plays. But as you said, Viking just forced Charlie into doing that move because he saw it as the best possible option at that time.
Exactly. This is like when I like to pick Monkey King as a 5, right? It could work. Doesn't mean it's gonna, right? Doesn't mean the ratings are in my favor there.
Exactly. Like, Dota is, in the end, a game of chances. Some plays are 90% plays. Some plays are even 95% plays. Some plays are only 10% plays. And in the end, they can work out. Doesn't mean they were good plays or bad plays.
Yeah, the history is written by the victor, right? Like, if that play works out, if he does that, Charlie's a god, okay? That's kind of the concession. But the concession you have to give in return is if you don't get that play, we're going to sit there and have to criticize it.
That is true, I guess. But then we see the smoke from NiP coming out. It is probably the last smoke in this game that's going to come out from them.
Saberlight's not inside it, though. So he's looking to be the counter initiation. They need to actually falsify it off the back of maybe Charlie with the Omni Slash or Monkey King going in. And Charlie looking to move in right now into Shad, but he can't. That's going to be disengaged. The smoke looking pretty wasted. Supreme, if he clips on a boom, it's a possibility, but the DD there, now he's scared. And actually stunned up as well. He needs to be careful. Celery is just frustrating on the side of this fight right now. Root's going to come out to Charlie. He knows he can't use that Omni Slash on the Ember, so instead they jump straight into Celery. They see he's annoying. They're trying to get rid of him quickly. Force staff out. Nice stun coming in. Toby looking to disengage quickly here. The kids are going to be forced out. He's moving back quick enough. No, he's going to be brought down. Charlie is deep now. Boom able to move away. The kiss is forced out. The hand of God. And on the side of Skewer Saberlight looking for a target, but they use the Wukongs just on the Celery who gets out in time, and RS being chased to forward onto by Charlie. The spin's going to come out to stay on top of the stat bar. With this close from the Scotty, it's good enough, but Saberlight, he's the first casualty on the side of NiP. That means you've got no RP. The buyback comes out from Aris in the meantime, and Charlie, without an Omni Slash, is forced to fight. Boom, roots him up, moves away. Stun from Supreme to try and save the day, but in the end, it doesn't even secure the kill to Ember or save the day. And as a result, Misha we turned around upon. Shad will run him down. These stuns will not save you from the overwhelming force of a life stealer. I say that, Raging 2. He's salving up. He's like, oh, please, Lord, he don't let it end like this. But with the rest of Viking coming, he knows that's the only way it's heading.
That Omni Slash, it looked pretty huge from Charlie. He killed Toby off, but still, no one else except Aramis died, and he just bought back. And this is the huge issue for them. Saberlight being picked off once again, not being able to use that RP.
And he was holding for a long time, right? And the reason that kind of goes down that awkward way is the way that Vikin split the fight into 2 different directions. We saw the Wukongs go down. We saw it get misused essentially onto an Enchantress who was going to escape, and Saberlight barely escaping with his life in this situation. With the Guarding Greaves already used, the Skewer already used, they know they can hit buildings without worrying about him getting in for an RP because he's still nowhere near this Blink Dagger.
Exactly. I think what he should do is sell his Greaves, get boots of speed, buy a dagger. I think that's the only play they actually have right now.
I mean, you need it right now because you're maybe 1 fire away from losing, and that's the Wukongs again wasted along with the Skewer as well, and Charlie needs to retreat. They're going to let him get back for the moment because the Wukongs is still running, but without Omni Slash for 30, you know, the pressure is now on. Viking can do whatever the hell they please.
Exactly. Range tracks. And they don't even have to hard commit now. They can wait. They can wait. They don't have to overcommit. Sure, the Monkey King ult is on CD, sure, but the Omni Slash is coming up, so they don't have to hard commit
Boom.
here.
RP, Cookie to get him away though, and it means he's split from the fight. Able to survive, they'll turn around, bring down the Magnus. The Omni Slash coming out, not doing enough though, maybe we'll get boom. But what are you gonna lose? Supreme, Era, both down. Charlie, now in too deep, needs to be careful about this. The stuns are coming out to control him up. Shad is being slowed enough. But Era needs to back up quicker than this. The Cookie in. Nice stun from Toby. Gets him on top of Charlie, but the Yule's disruption from Era is good. Supreme with the buyback trying to get in, but Shad stands his ground and fights. And with the stuns, Supreme is overwhelmed before he can even get the passive up. He's dead. And without him, yeah, you get the kill on Celery, but you are against the wall here. And Charlie, he needs to deliver. Without an Omni Slash for 110 seconds, it's hard to see how. They'll just start hitting the buildings again. Stun comes out. Movement forward straight away on the Era. He's Yulesing into the stun, but it's not good enough. Toby's the one bringing out the stun. And Charlie needs to move away quicker than this. Unable to even use the spin just yet. Toby being brought low because his tank in the towers able to get out. And Shad needs to be careful. Skewer hit him back, but he's still healthy in this Lifestealer. He still has the Infest to run over to Aramis to escape if need be, and that's what he's going to do. Rage, Cookie to get him out and away. And he can infest into Toby. They can get ready to reset. Aramis is buying a lot of time, able to force stuff away. Dust to reveal him in the meantime. Toby thinking about the reinitiation. Will go in with the stun. The infest bomb out. Chen is going to be brought down. Saberlight splits away from the fight to get rid of Toby, but now he's going to get rid of himself. As Shad is nigh on unstoppable and will bring down Misha and move back across to that melee racks.
For a situation going on, Charlie. Last player standing for his team.
Not for long at this rate. If Shad has anything to say about it, which he does, they move in with the stun control, and he is gone. And I think this might be the moment where NiP just reflects upon things and moves the game too, as they yell out GG, and Vikin, they start this series off with a win.
Man, these two Bash brothers, Toby and Shad, they just killed everyone. They didn't even need boom at that point. They just perma-stunned that Jug through the magic immunity. Disgusting, disgusting, and Viking. I gotta admit, they just read NiP like a book from start to finish. Yeah, there were some fights where NiP were really getting back into that game, but really, Viking dominated them from start to finish. I gotta admit, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit there. You called them the Bash brothers. I'd say it was the brothers in arms from the whole team, right? Because the amazing thing about the way that Viking are playing these fights is no man left behind. Whenever they can actually pull it off, right? You got these cookies to get people out. You've got these infests, the reinitiations to even save the support. So if they're going to go down, damn right, we're going to take 2 or 3 members of your team with them. And that's kind of the beauty of the way that Viking play, right? Is you start to see what happens when a team stays together for so long without changing a single member, is you get this second nature of what each person's doing. You become so in sync that you can read and anticipate the next move. And that's kind of what really set Viking apart in these later fights. If we look outside the fact that, yes, Saberlight had a bad game. He had a rough start. When we look at the way these fights are engaged, Viking are able to juggle NiP in these late game fights on separate screens, kind of knowing what's going on at all times.
Yeah, perfect coordination. And as you said, Saberlight had a bad game. If we're looking to the next match or to the next game in this match, I think that NiP should focus on giving Saberlight a favorable matchup, because so far in the last 3 games I saw NiP, Saberlight didn't really have that much of a favorable matchup. He has played 3 different heroes against Lifestealer. He has played Bounty Hunter, he has played Magnus, and he has played Beastmaster. And in every single one of those cases, he didn't really have that great of a game. Why? Well, because these melee heroes are just not that good against Lifestealer. Maybe they have to try out something else. Of course, it is like these heroes are standard offlane heroes. They're standard offlane heroes. They are comfort picks, but well, except the bounty, but they're not working out against that lifestealer. So NiP now having real trouble with that lifestealer. Either like I actually think they might have to ban the lifestealer or pick it themselves because so far NiP have shown that they don't have an answer to that lifestealer plus X plus Snapfire plus Slaughter.
No, I mean Charlie doesn't mind playing the lifestealer. I think we're seeing like the bigger issue to kind of highlight that's kind of become apparent yesterday, and especially starting to today, is the offlaners. Right, the offlane right now in the current meta and the current way that we're seeing at least these teams play Dota is almost always critical to the success of the team. That's why Vikin are winning so many games, is because they prioritized Toby. They gave him a lane to win. Right, yesterday our criticism, I believe it was of Khan and how they wouldn't allow Cheshire Cat to have a good start. They were throwing him the bus quicker and quicker with each passing game. And my concern, I'm very worried if NiP do that in this second game, if they throw Saberlight under the bus even quicker than this one, we could see a very quick 2-0. But we're going to have to see if they can adjust that. We're going to quickly go get some water, get some monster, chug it down our throats, and be back in just a few minutes for game number 2 between Vikin and Ninjas in Pajamas.